Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just now was the video from our sponsor of Virtual Science Fair 2021. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to Kenanga Investors Berhad for sponsoring us throughout the event. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the VSF Science Exhibition brought to you by Virtual Science Fair 2021. My name is Amira Ariyanti and I will be the MC for the day. On behalf of the organizer, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the VSF Science Exhibition 2021. Today, we have three student bodies representative from Department of Biology, which are Biotechnology, Environmental Management, and Microbiology. We will start our first session with student body from Biotechnology. Well, for your information, biotechnology is the science for the future, where the technology is based on biology that involve the use of living organisms. I'm sure we are all keen to learn more about this. Thus, without further ado, I would like to welcome Ms. Amira Maisara binti Kaman Zamar and Ms. Asfia Wahab to conduct their sharing session.
Okay, thank you, Miss Amira. Hello and good morning, everyone. Thank you for spending your lovely Saturday morning to learn and explore during this 9 a.m. session. So for today's session, we will have me, Amira, and my teammate Asfia Wahab to share with you guys all the fascinating experience about biotechnology. My name is Amira Maisara, and I am currently a final year student in biotechnology. So before we start, let me present my slide first. Okay, I hope you guys can see my screen now. So in University Malaya, we have variety of programs under Institute Science of Biology, Faculty of Science. So today I will share with you guys on my degree program, which is Bachelor in Science, Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology. If you guys love biology and want to know what is biotechnology, you guys should stay until the end of this session. Before we go deeper, I'm sure some of you might wonder what is biotechnology. It is biology and technology. Without further ado, let's get started. Biotechnology is a technology that utilizes biological system, living organism, or part of these to develop or create different products. It does not focus on creating product only. We can also create new innovation, new research that utilize the living organism. So is biotech a new field in biology? No, actually, biotechnology has existed a long time ago, but at that time, the term biotechnology is not existing yet. The origin of biotechnology arose in ancient age. For example, in Egypt and China, so this country, they use biotechnology in the form of food fermentation. What I can say is that fermentation is the most basic concept in biotechnology. It is a process that uses microorganisms such as yeast, bacteria to convert sugar into energy. Similar with the definition biotechnology I said just now, biotechnology utilizes living organisms to create product. So we use microbe to produce cheese, bread, and other fermentation products. To give you guys a more clearer picture about biotechnology, these are some examples of biotechnology products that we use in our daily life. I myself also never know that all these products relate with biotechnology. So do you guys know cheese you guys always eat during these past few years has been created with a biotech enzyme called chymosin. So this chymosin was used to curdle the bread during cheese production. So the process will become more faster. Other than that, we also have insulin, which is the most important tool for patients with diabetes mellitus to control the blood sugar level. Before this, insulin was extracted from the pancreas of animal. So this process might be difficult we need to have animals take the insulin from the pancreas. So what biotech help is that researchers use genetic engineering to manufacture human insulin using microorganisms. So we doesn't need to take insulin from the animal pancreas anymore. We use microbe to work for us. We use microbe to produce insulin for us. Next, we have sunscreen. So if you guys go to shopping mall, for example, Mid Valley, and you guys see Body Shop, the famous body care shop, So you just need to know that algae was used in some of their sunscreen products. So this microalgae, which is we cannot see by our naked eye, could replace the synthetic sunscreen that are very harmful for our environment. And at the same time, the algae-based sunscreen can help to protect our skin from ultraviolet. Lastly is biodegradable plastic. If you go to supermarket, I'm sure you guys will see this kind of plastic bag. So thanks to biotechnology, the development of this bioplastic is offering a solution to overcome plastic pollution. Before this, plastic cannot easily be degraded, so this cause environmental pollution. So how this biodegradable plastic help? Because it is very easy to degrade and was made from agricultural waste such as cornstarch. Next, biotechnology is not a single field like physics or chemistry. We also learn about physics and chemistry in biotechnology, but most of it we learn about biology. So it is in fact an integrated field. You can think of it as a cocktail of various fields. Biotechnology consists of 10 different areas, and all these areas are coded according to color. So we have white biotech, industrial process that involve the microbes. We have red biotech for health, medical, and diagnosis. We have blue, relate with coastal, marine, gray for fermentation, purple for innovation, copyright, invention, yellow for food and nutrition biotech, black for biocrimes, bioterrorism. We have gold for bioinformatics, brown for desert biotech, and also green for agriculture. So among these 10 areas of biotechnology, you guys will learn around 7 areas of biotechnology in University Malaya, which is white, blue, grey, purple, yellow, gold, and green. So that is what powerful about biotech in UM. You guys will learn and discover many areas in biotech. We are not focusing only on one area, but variety of it. I myself at first didn't know what to pursue after taking degree in biotech. So after I learned all these 7 areas that I never know marine also can relate with biotech. And then I now I know what I want to pursue after graduate. So you guys will have the opportunity to learn all these 7 areas and decide by yourself which area you want to pursue after graduate. So how it is life as a biotech student. So this is my badge engagement life as students. We have such great memory along our degree journey. And not forget also lab practical, test, assignment, study, and also our final year project. So I'm sure you guys want to know what we learned in biotech. So today I will share with you guys some interesting subject that we have learned. So firstly is plant breeding. We learned this during our second year. So what we do during the lab session, we observe the germination in pollen grain during our lab class. So the yellow one in the middle is the pollen grain under the microscope. And this subject also teach us how plant breeding can help to produce crop with good quality and many more relate with agriculture and plant. And then we also have applied microbiology. So in this session, in this course, we learn about microbes, about the types of microbes, the shape of microbes. So we grow microbes on our agar plate and do streaking, slanting, and staining. Look how beautiful the blue bacteria and the purple bacteria that we have grow on our agar plate. So this makes us understand more how this microbe can help to produce product for microbiology, for biotechnologies. The next is animal biotech. So this is one of my favorite subject because it relates with animal. So what's cool about animal biotech is that this is during our lab class. So you guys can see the video moving right now. So this is my friend. He trying to collect the sperm sample from the goat to do the artificial insemination. And then after that, the semen of the goat, we will evaluate the movement of sperm under the microscope. So not only goat, but we also learn about fish, poultry, and other animals during this subject. Then we also have cell tissue culture. So in this subject, we learn how to grow tissue or cell. So for this lab, we're taking the a small tissue from the goat ear, and then we create the mediums for the tissue to grow. So you guys can see our senior Vicky, he trying to do the tissue culture and in the laminar flow hood. So all of the students will have the experience hands-on to do the culture. And we also have our lecturer, Dr. Adila, to supervise us during the lab session and help us how to conduct all of the laboratory. Next question, how do we study during the pandemic? You know, the suddenly change from face-to-face class, we can do all the lab, and then suddenly we cannot go back to our campus and we cannot meet our friends, learn face-to-face. It is a new normal for us. So what our lecturer try to do is they create a very interesting and interactive online learning for the student. So we have been studying using interactive laboratory and online learning for the pandemic duration. So this is one of the subjects that I learned last semester during the COVID-19, which is fungi biotech. So we cannot do our lab in UM. Our lecturer, Dr. Kadir, create a very interactive laboratory for us to do at home, making our kitchens, our room as our laboratory. But all of the ingredients not harmful because we can easily find all the ingredients in the supermarket. So these are example of experiment that I have done at home. We evaluate fungi grow on bread and try to evaluate the effectiveness of hand sanitizer. And then we make our own tapai and eat the tapai. And also we have yeast reaction using balloon and also do our own tissue culture using mushroom. So usually we will do the tissue culture in the lab, right? So, but for last semester, I do it in my room. So it is a very interesting and interactive subject because during when our lecturer do the online lab, we also will do the online synchronously at home. And if we have any further question, we can ask our lecturer straightforward. And then for algae biotech. So in algae biotech, we learn about how useful this algae to help our country. And then we grow algae from, we take the sample of from the lake and pond water, and then we grow the algae. So day by day, we will feed the algae waste and fish bone and see how the algae grow. And then is bioseparation. This is what I currently learn for this semester. So the lab picture here during face-to-face class, we have the opportunity to do all the lab session online, to do the lab session face-to-face, holding all the apparatus, learn new techniques. But it's okay, even though back to UM, on the right side, this is us during class right now, during our lab. We will watch our lecturer doing the practical online, and later we will answer something related with the lab. So even though we cannot touch and hold all the apparatus, we can see how our lecturer handle the equipment professionally and learn something new about all the machine. Okay, our lecturer will carry the phones and then show to us all the details related with the lab. So during this bioseparation, what we do is we try to extract the purple pigment, the purple color from the red cabbage. So for this experiment, we cannot do at home because it relates with all the chemical and dangerous stuff. But it is still fun to learn lab through online. And then not only that, as a biotech student in UM, we also have our own club organized by the biotech student. So this is our Instagram social media. You guys can check our Instagram for more updates. The Biotech Club have actively organized many interesting activities, especially for the biotech students. So these are some example of activity that we have done so far. We have thesis writing workshop to give all the tips for the final year students to write their thesis, interaction day with our junior, sharing session, how to study during this pandemic. And then we also have COVID chat, collaboration with other faculty. And every week, the Biotech Club will share a journal on our WhatsApp group to enhance our knowledge and keep more updates on the biotechnological data. And then even during face-to-face, we have hiking, dinner, interaction day, and many more activities that makes our life as a biotech student complete. So in conclusion, I can say that my degree journey as a biotech student filled with a lot of fun and knowledge that can help be a good scientist, a good biotechnologist after this. So next, I will pass another sharing session with my other teammate Asfia for her to share her experience as a biotech student.
Thank you for your presentation. Amira. It was really nice, and I am going to share my presentation now. Let me know if you can see it, okay? You can see it, right? Okay. I will start. So, hello everyone. I am Asfia Wahab, and I am a second year biotech student in University of Malaya. And today I'm going to talk about why I chose biotechnology and what are the job opportunities of biotechnology and what biotechnology is playing a role in this dear pandemic, COVID-19. And yes, at the end of the session, you would know that why you choose biotechnology as well. So, a little story about me. When I was in high school, I first came to know about biotechnology and I studied about tissue culture and recombinant DNA technology. And I was fascinated by how all this plant tissue from an explant is extracted and then regrew in a callus medium. And it was mainly focused on plant and plant cells. Here you see a plant cell, and I learned about plant breeding, genetically modified organisms or GMO, cross pollinations, and I was very interested and very impressed to see what biotechnology has to offer. So I was young and I was also very curious. At that time, I tried to do a self experiment because I was very curious at that time. My mother brought two crimson star, star petunias. One was a crimson color, another one was blue color. And at that time, it was blooming season. So I tried to cross pollinate the crimson petunias. I mean, the star petunias, not the crimson ones. So what I did, as you know, crimson are whole complete flowers. So the crimson flowers has both anthers and stigma in the one flower. So I took the anthers from blue star petunia, and then I transferred the pollen grains from the anthers of the blue star petunia, and I transferred it to the crimson star petunia, to the stigma of it. And I just waited because I've learned about cross pollination, and it was not at all in a hygienic way because I just used my hands. I was supposed to use some aseptic tools as I grew up and I knew it now. But at that time, I just used my hands. And I saw some results like this. And I was so amazed to see these results when I just cross-pollinated from the blue star petunia to crimson star petunia. And then after a few days, I can see this colored petunias are blooming in the crimson star petunia plant. And also these colors where you cannot see any white stripes, where the white stripes are gone. And I was so fascinated by the results, and I was very amazed by the results, and I wanted to know more. So my interest just grew more and more and more, and at the end, it led me to choose biotechnology. So besides that, biotechnology is also very interesting as it has all scientific fields, as Amira mentioned in her previous slides. It comprises of physics, mathematics, but a lot of biology and a lot of chemistry. So if you're a very good student who loves biology and chemistry, but is not that good at maths, but you will need maths if you study biotechnology, and just a bit of physics, then you will love biotechnology if you like to discover and innovate new products. Besides that, it's very interdisciplinary. And as it's also mentioned by Amira in her previous slides, that biochemistry, microbiology, like the courses which we study in UM are besides biotechnology are biochemistry, microbiology, biostatistics, bioinformatics, genetic engineering, cell and molecular biology, and a lot of other courses, including basic physics and also optional courses like fundamental of mathematics. Besides that, it has an impressive range of courses besides like the biochemistry and the microbiology ones. If you want to specialize in other courses, they have marine biotechnology, environmental biotechnology, microbial, medical, animal and plant. These are the stuffs already mentioned by Amira in her previous courses. But these are also the reasons that led me to choose biotechnology, because I believe in sustainability and I try to be as sustainable as possible. So, and I also want to innovate and discover how this, like, we can use new fields of biology for the advancement of humanity and also in advanced technology. So let's talk about some job opportunities in biotechnology. So biotechnology as a wide field, it has a lot of uh, job opportunities. It's not just, you might think that as a biotechnologist, we will just work in labs with our lab coats on and glasses on and then research about microbes and we will just genetically modify. No, there are a lot of industrial sectors that have biotechnological research opportunities and work opportunities. Example like human resource in biotech area, then manufacturing, quality assurance, sales and technical support, even in policy making. If you even you can work in government policy making, because a scientist needs to be in government and they should let the government with the correct information so that the normal general people are not confused. For example, what is happening nowadays for the vaccines, some people are in favor of vaccines, but some people are against vaccine. This happens due to less communication and also less knowledge of general people. So there are a lot of industrial sectors that are recruiting biotech graduates, not just for biotechnological works, but also for project management, human resource, research and development, sales and technical support. But there are some in-demand careers in biotechnology. And if you go further the career, you can be even a microbiologist. It doesn't have to be, you have to be a biotechnologist only. You can be a biochemist. You can be a process development scientist. You can be a biomanufacturing specialist, even a biomedical engineer, also a medical scientist. But one of the things which most impressed me is being an astrobiologist. Astrobiologists are the ones who study about space and life around the planet. And even if you study biotechnology, you can have a higher degree in astrobiology. So what we have learned that like industry, academia, and even business, every sector requires biotechnology. So it's a very wide field and it will never let you down. You might think that what will I do with a certain course or with a certain degree, but with biotechnology, you have the options for everything, literally. And okay, now I will talk about the role of biotechnology in COVID-19 pandemic. So we all know like the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, also known as SARS-CoV-2, created a very big threat in this world, and it doesn't need any introduction. So what biotechnology did is like it tried to control the virus besides like normal human people's efforts like hand sanitization and maintaining coronavirus rules and social distancing. Biotechnology plays a role in identification of virus, creation of vaccines, creation of therapies, and so on. So I'm going to talk about three identification types, which is used to identify the COVID-19 vaccine. Number one is rapid antigen test, which is tested on both asymptomatic and symptomatic patients. Asymptomatic patients means the patients who doesn't show any symptoms of coronavirus, and symptomatic patients shows symptoms of coronavirus like uh, cough and everyone knows fever, cough, dry cough, and sometimes headache, fatigue, sometimes diarrhea. Okay, so the type of samples that are taken for both the rapid antigen test and PCR test are nasal swab, as most of us have done it, maybe. And the results time is like the lowest in rapid antigen test. It's like the fastest here. So it takes only about 15 minutes and you would know that if you are positive or negative. And the accuracy is very accurate for symptomatic patients, but the accuracy isn't quite sure about the asymptomatic patients. So for the PCR test, it's very close to the rapid antigen test, where it detects the active infection by identifying the genetic materials of the virus. And it takes about 3 to 4 days for the results to come out, and it's like the most accurate versions of the tests. And the antibody test is only for the asymptomatic patients, and it's a form of blood test. It's a blood test because if someone has a coronavirus and they don't show any symptom, then through the antibody test, when a foreign particle or a virus enters into it, the body creates antibodies. So, and the immune system creates this antibody to fight the viruses. And this cannot be seen through the PCR test or the antigen test. And the antibody in the blood can be only seen in an antibody test. And it takes about 1 to 3 days. And it's also very accurate. So about some vaccines. So as you all know that the vaccines are the most greatest, like now the greatest invention of the coronavirus and the present time. So there are like some top vaccines, and I'm going to cover it up because I'm running out of time. I would like to say like the Oxford vaccine costs like £3. It's like very cost friendly. It's can be stored in the regular fridge, and the Moderna is the most expensive one, but it also has very effectiveness, like 95%, as well as the Pfizer. It says 95%, and both are RNA vaccines. And Oxford and the Gamaleya vaccines are viral vector vaccines, and it takes up to 2 doses. So this is the coronavirus, and here you can see inside is our RNA, and this is like a virus. And for the Oxford vaccine and Gamaleya, they genetically modify the viruses. But for the Moderna and Pfizer, they just take the RNA part of the virus, modify them, and then insert into a vaccine. So that's all from me. Hope you like it. And feel free to ask any questions in the question and answer sessions. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to share the quiz session as well. Let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, so can you see the screen? Maybe you can. Okay, we can. Okay, sorry about that. So this is the quiz time, and I hope you all can see it. Just cannot make it as a slideshow, as I will not see the answers. So the rule of this quiz is like it's going to be a multiple choice question, and we will ask the questions based on our slides, and just type your answers in the chat. and I'll see. Okay, so here we go. The first question. How many areas are there in biotechnology? A10, B8, C11, D9. Okay, we're having answers. Someone said A. Anyone else? I think I'll just go in the answers now. Okay, it's time's up. Yes, it is A10. As Amira mentioned in her slides, there are 10 areas in biotechnology, but in UM, we just study about 7 technologies, 7 areas of biotechnology. Yes, right. Very good. And now the second question. What is the genetic material used in the Pfizer vaccine to produce spike protein in the human body? I think I went through it in my last slide. Let's see.
Hello, Asfia.
Yes.
We cannot see your screen showing the Q&A questions.
Really?
Aspia, can you show the question? Because we can't see the question yet.
Can you see the questions now?
Not yet. Have you opened the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I have opened the PowerPoint. Wait, okay, I'll try to do
Okay,
it
sure.
again.
Everyone, we're sorry for the technical issues. We will resolve this for a while.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the
Okay.
students, everyone were answering on the basis of my questions, verbal questions. Is that so? Okay, whatever. So we are already having answers here that it's bRNA, but I'm sorry, it is mRNA. I had to be like more specific, but yes, I agree that the source I took from BBC, it was written as RNA, but it's basically more precisely mRNA. So the ones who went through RNA, I'll give half points to them. Yes, I'll give half points to you. All right. So next question. What is the simplest form of biotechnology used in ancient days? Okay, here's a hint. I hope you can remember. Okay, C, we're having answers. We're getting fermentation, C. Getting more C's. Okay, let's see. Yes, it is fermentation, and this was in like Egypt and China. They used fermentation. No, it's C, STEM ambassador. You give the first answer is correct. It was C. Okay. So, which is not a type of COVID-19 test? Not a type of COVID-19 test. This could be easy. One saying C. So we're having answers. It's like C, B, B, B. And yes, the correct answer is B. Gel-based electrophoresis is not a COVID-19 test. All the other antigen, PCR antibody are COVID-19 tests. Gel-based electrophoresis are mostly for DNA or to detect DNA tests like that. Okay, next question. Which one is the most expensive? Out of all the vaccines here, which one is the most expensive? I think I mentioned in my last slide, so I was rushing through it because I think I had really small time at that time. We're having answers as C, D. The answer is like, which one is the most expensive? C, D, B, B. Okay, B, Moderna. So next time, the majority is right. It is C. Oh, sorry. It is B, Moderna. Moderna costs like 25 pounds, which is like equivalent to 142 ringgit. And AstraZeneca, Oxford AstraZeneca is like the most cheapest one, which costs like 3 pounds. And 3 pounds in ringgit is like, let's see. Okay, I'm very bad at math. Costs around like 15, if I'm not wrong. Or okay, and Camellia costs like 7 pounds, and Pfizer costs like 15 pounds. Okay. Next question. Which test gives fastest results of COVID-19? A, antibody test, B, PCR test, C, antigen test, D, blood test. We're having answers as B, A, C, correction C, B, B, the fastest results. Okay, this time we're having, this is the antigen test. It takes around 15 minutes for the results to come up for the antigen test. The PCR test takes like 3 to 4 days. And antibody test is the same as blood test. It takes around 1 to 3 days. So I think this one is like the end of the quiz, and thank you so much for participating.
Hello guys, I'm back again. So for the next session is In Science We Explore. Let me share my screen. Okay, I hope you guys can see my screen now. So in this session, in Science We Explore, I'm going to share with you guys some cool innovation that Biotech have achieved until now. So how Biotech saved the world. So two amazing story that I hope can open your eyes on application in biotechnology. which are the vaccine production and the rainbow papaya. So let's start with vaccine first. So COVID-19 vaccination will be an important tool to help stop this pandemic. So in Malaysia, we will be using 5 different types of vaccine. But for today, I will be focusing on Pfizer vaccine. In the race to deliver a vaccine that can help bring an end to the coronavirus pandemic, Pfizer is one of the world premier biopharmaceutical company has collaborated with these two couple German scientists from Biotech company to produce Pfizer vaccine. So how does this Pfizer vaccine works? I think it is important for me to share with you guys how this Pfizer vaccine works, how this Pfizer can help to protect our body from COVID-19. I will try to explain the simplest as I can to give you guys this knowledge. So we need to know that our body has level of organization that build on each other. Cell make up the tissue, tissue make up organs, and organ make up the organ system, and us, the living organism. So inside this tiny cell, we have thousand billions of DNA that contain all the information necessary to build and maintain an organism. So mRNA or RNA, but specifically mRNA, carry the genetic code from the DNA to tell our cell what to build and use as a template to build a protein. So then the protein will combine to form a living cell and then continue make up the tissue, organ, and the living organism. So everything started from the DNA inside the cell. The mRNA will carry the DNA and then tell the protein what to mix until um, it the organs mix the organ system and the living organism. So in the coronavirus situation, when we are getting infected with this virus, the COVID-19 will begin the process by creating many copies by attaching its spikes to a specific cell in our body and infect it. So the main point here is that this virus COVID-19, the first two is they use the spikes to enter our cell by attaching the spikes into on our specific cell. So what if we could train our immune system to recognize these spikes by having our body produce them, so that our body will be more alert after this, because the main reason why our body the main way how the coronavirus enter our body is by attaching the spikes. So what if we train our immune system to alert if there is spikes in our cell? So this is where we use the mRNA. So all viruses have a unique genetic code. So scientists take part of the COVID-19 virus code. They take the mRNA from the COVID-19, which tell our cell what to make, and then this mRNA will be coated in a lipid to enter human body. So in the Pfizer vaccine, we will have this mRNA coating in the lipid. So, and then if we are taking the vaccine, this mRNA will enter our body. So what will happen? So when we are taken and injected by the Pfizer vaccine, the mRNA will enter the cell and then tell the cell to produce the COVID spikes. No need to worry, because we wouldn't get sick, because the spike itself is incapable to make us sick. We don't take all the COVID-19 structure, only the small tiny spikes that firstly enter our body. So when the mRNA enter our cell, it tells our cell to produce COVID spikes. So this piece of protein from the virus can trigger an immune response. So when the spikes already enter our cell, our immune system will realize that this protein should not be there. There's been intruder. There's been like battle. So this is where the battle will begin. So this harmless spikes give our immune system all the information needed to quickly detect the coronavirus infection. So the immune cell will produce antibody and activate T cell to destroy the spike protein that enter our body just now through vaccination. So let's say if after this, after we are getting vaccinated and then we are exposed to this virus, so let's say the virus already attacked our body. So because our immune system has knowledge to recognize the spike protein when we are taking the vaccination. So if virus in the future, our immune system will quickly recognize this spike protein, and then the antibody will multiply themselves and attach themselves to the spikes of this coronavirus, protecting ourselves and keeping the virus from reproducing. So to make it simple, vaccination the main reason why we take vaccine is because we want our immune system to get the knowledge that this spikes is an intruder, so we need to destroy it. So when the spikes already enter the true COVID-19 already enter our body, so our immune system will fight and destroy the coronavirus. So that's the end of vaccine story. Let's go into another application of biotech, which is rainbow papaya. So the fascinating story about this rainbow papaya is that one day in the early 90s, one Hawaiian farmer found a bit of whitish, dried out flesh in his recently harvested fruit. You guys can see at the picture how ugly and terrible is the papaya. So on the skin were discolored spot resembling the tiny ring. You guys can see that there is a circle, a lot of small circle in green color. So this is actually the effect of the papaya ring spot virus. So this virus is the most widespread and destructive virus disease of papaya. So this disease has become widespread that all the Hawaii papaya industry was on the verge of extinction. So how this virus can cause all this to papaya. So when an insect, inside the insect, when they have been infected with the virus and then they feed on the papaya, so that is how the virus enter from the insect body into the papaya and cause all this sickness called papaya ring spot virus. So how can biotechnology help to solve these pandemic problems of papaya? So what they do to save the papaya industry in Hawaii, Dennis Gonzalez created the GMO rainbow papaya. So the name rainbow is not because the papaya is rainbow in color. The rainbow is because it's actually a transgenic solo papaya that have resistance to papaya ring spot virus. So how they do the genetic modification and they isolate the gene from the virus and then inoculate the papaya, make the papaya more resistant when they are being attacked with the papaya ring spot virus. So Hawaii papaya, rainbow papaya is one of the most unique crops out there. It is much different with the normal papaya. It's just that this papaya is more resistant to papaya ring spot virus. And this is one of the best biotech success story as well. So the rainbow papaya has given Hawaii farmer a second chance to be able to continue growing papaya. So we already know about the application how biotech saved the world from the past, which is this rainbow papaya. And then during the present right now, with the production of vaccine, how about the future of biotech? How can biotech save the world in the future? So this is one of the future research in biotechnology where scientists use mushroom to eat plastic. Cool, isn't it? So we don't need to have any worry about all the plastic pollution in the ocean because these fungi can help to reduce the plastic and at the same time save the world from all the plastic pollution. So I think that's all from me and Asfia for all the sharing session, quiz session, and the insight we explore session. I hope all this sharing can spark an interest for you guys to learn and pursue degree in biotech. So if you guys have any question, feel free to type in the comment section because right now we will be having our Q&A session. So the first question, how would biotechnology courses develop to become more flexible with the current digitalization? So if you mean the current digitalization, if it is like all the internet things, um, from what I know, there is nothing yet about the internet. But if talks about biology, for example, DNA tests. So you guys always see all the drama in the TV where they want to know biological mother, biological father. So they're gonna do this DNA testing. So that's um, one of the application of biotech. And also how biotechnology course, we also have one courses in which is bioinformatics. So it involves with all the data, digital also. So every single thing have their own DNA, so we can retrieve the sequence of the DNA from the bioinformatic courses that we learn. For example, if you want to the more application for the outside world, we have how to identify our face. So like for the crime scene, how like the forensics, how the forensic they try to uh, they try to match the face of the criminals with the DNA. So all those things relate with the digitalizations and also bioinformatics courses that we learn in UM. I hope that's answer your question. Why Nur Fatin? About technology like practical is tough. I often heard practical for chemistry subject are tough, so I wonder for biotech subjects. For me myself, it's not tough the lab, but it's more fun and interesting because all of those things something new for us to learn. If let's say for chemistry, it relates with all the chemical. For biotech also, it depends on the courses that on the subject that we take. For fungi biotech, it's more fun, which I already present just now. We make tapai, the uh, we do the bread experiment. So I don't think it is tough. It is manageable. There is fun, exciting. Maybe some of the experiment that relate with the PCR or gel electrophoresis, it needs a lot of understanding before we do the lab because it more
Yes,
okay,
and
yes,
I
yeah.
would also like to include that, like what happened in with me as I'm in second year and I haven't like got the chance to get the labs in person, most of the labs except for the biology. What we did is as our lecturers like um, provide the course in such a way and labs in such a way so that we can do it in our home. For example, for microbiology, what we did that we created the agar medium by ourselves with gelatin, and then we took the swabs from our hand, from our laptops, and then we saw it. And it's like more fun way to do it. Then it's not that difficult. And most the beauty of is like the teachers are always approachable. You can ask them at any time if you're having any problems, and the labs are always really fun. And for animal biotechnology, we have to go through that a farm. There is a farm in I didn't know. And then we get to see their goats and the fishes, but I didn't get to see much of the goats and fishes as like the pandemic grew. But yes, the practicals are not that hard, and yes, we do not need much chemistry there. It's more of applied field of biology and more of like the applied field of what is the result and why is it the results, like that. Our biotechnology, same with bioengineering. Okay. Samira, would you like to go first?
Okay. So from what I learned so far, it is not the same. But what bioengineering student we learn, we also learn about it, but not in a specific way. For example, we have bioprocess technology in third year. So what we learn during this bioprocess technology, it involved with the calculations of how the fermentation process, how the bioreactor, how the mechanical aspect of the factory. manufacturing work. So it relates to bioengineering, but we are not similar with bioengineering. But what we learn in biotech also um, include in the bioengineering.
Yes, and I also like to include that in bioengineering, it's mostly about mechanical stuffs and how to create mechanical stuffs for a biological organism. For example, creating a heart valve, which is more inclined towards biomedical engineering, but bioengineering is also like that in creating a mechanical stuff to relieve a problem. But biotechnology is everything inside biology. It's like you don't have to create a machine you do not create the machine, the engineers create the machine and you use the machine, and you just it's more about in molecular levels with chemicals, and engineering is more about physical level with mechanics. Beauty of biotechnology. Well, biotechnology is a beautiful subject as it's very wide. And you can, as I say that in my slides, and also Amira mentioned, there is a lot of fields of biotechnology and it will never let you down. And it's an ever expanding field. If you'd like to know about more, I can share the link, the reference link I took. I think I can share it through the YouTube chat. I have to go to YouTube. So I found this link of Northwestern University, and they just have a very nice list of why biotechnology is so demanding, and why should students opt for biotechnology. Amira, you would like to say something?
I think what
Meanwhile,
Afia,
I'll share the link.
I think what Afia said already answered the question.
Okay. So Amira, I think it's better for you because you have already taken the bioinformatics course.
Okay, how much differ biotech and bioinformatics? So I have friends in bioinformatics too, and what she learned, I also learned, but we bioinformatics that we learn are not specific like the bioinformatics that like what the bioinformatics student learn. So the difference is that biotechnology learns bioinformatics um, in the like the we are not learning in a specific way. We just learn how to retrieve the sequence of the DNA, mRNA, protein, and how to see and how to differentiate the protein sequence. We only learn about the how to retrieve data, about the basic things of bioinformatics. But for bioinformatics, they will learn about AR, VR, about how to make an application, to do coding. Biotechnology don't learn any coding. We don't know any programming. Um, so I think that's what's differ. But we still learn bioinformatics. I hope that answer your question, Sri.
Yes, bioinformatics is more about computational biology and programming and data of the genetics and data of the codes. But biotechnology is more into applied and also in a very wider field. It's more about genetic mutation and molecular level problems and all.
Thank you so much. It's so insightful. Amira and Asfia, is there anything that you want to add before we end the session?
I'd like to thank you, Amira. Thank you for conducting this session, and thank you to Virtual Science Fair for conducting this amazing webinar. I think it's very important for the new generation who actually don't know about biotechnology, because a lot of people doesn't know about it, but its importance is increasing every day, and due to this global pandemic, it's more becoming important because the vaccines and therapies, everything depended on biotechnology. So thank you, Amira, for arranging this.
Mm-hmm. Amira?
I would also like to say thank you for all the audience watching this
Mhm.
live right now, and I hope all our sharing can give you guys more knowledge and spark an interest for you guys to pursue in biotechnology. That's all.
All right, thank you so much to Miss Amira Maisara binti Kaman Zamar and Miss Asfia Wahab for the insightful sharing session delivered. Well, before we end our first session for today, let's give our brightest smile for photography session.
Okay. Sophia, do you want to open your camera? Okay, here we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Another one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ah, can we have another one?
Sure, sure,
Sorry.
sure.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more, just one more. 1, 2, 3. All right.
All right, thank you. Again, I would like to thank the presenters and all of you for attending our first VSF Science Exhibition 2021. Well, as you can see in the live chat, there's a feedback form that is posted by our VSF team. Kindly fill up the form as your feedback will be counted in choosing the winner for the best presenter. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having our second session with environmental management student bodies on 10:30 a.m. in the same channel. Make sure to stay tuned. Till then, Assalamualaikum and thank you. We'll see all of you in a bit. Thank you.